Happy Wednesday, everybody. Really nice to see all your faces. No, I'm kidding. I can't see any of you. I can just see a camera. And a very nice camera it is too. But I can't see anything about you. You are anonymous to me. And that is very apt because today we're talking about SecretSwap. And what is SecretSwap? Well, it is a Uniswap clone that exists on the Secret network. And what it allows you to do is perform swaps secretly. Let's dig in. So, SecretSwap version 2 just launched. So that was on the 18th. So that was yesterday. They launched version 2 of SecretSwap, and they call it the first front-running resistant cross-chain and privacy-first AMM. Now, to understand what SecretSwap is, we have to go back 4 years, in fact, to a project called Enigma, which back in 2017, when we weren't aping into farms, we weren't aping into NFTs, we were aping into ICOs. And Enigma, if Ian Bellina was to be believed, was the hottest ticket in town. I think it was the first project where you had to submit your Telegram handle to a list and you'd be whitelisted, and then you would get access to the sale. Now, this thing launched $45 million. It raised $45 million, which in today's terms, with projects kind of announcing big raises of like $5.6 million, $45 million is a lot. Wasn't the biggest by any stretch. Excuse me. It wasn't the biggest by any stretch, but Enigma was a highly thought of project. And the reason was smart contracts inherently are transparent. You go on Etherscan, you can look at where money is moving from one place to another. And this does cause some issues for businesses that might have data or that have financial transactions that they want to keep hidden. Now, obviously, in a world where we want everything to be open and free and visible to all, this feels a bit odd, but there are reasons why you might want to have some privacy enabled. And one of the huge tensions at stake in blockchain right now is that we want an open, fair, transparent financial system, but we also want to preserve our privacy. And the two don't make for very comfortable bedfellows. So the Secret Network grew out of what was then Enigma. Enigma themselves got into a little bit of trouble with the SEC. They were basically told that they had sold an unregistered security. They settled with the SEC. Now think about this. They raised $45 million. The settlement was $500,000. So just like with EOS, the sentiment here is just pay the fine. Now, it doesn't really matter because, I mean, it was the Wild Wild West back then, but fundamentally what has come out of Enigma is a rebrand to the Secret Network, and fundamental to the Secret Network are what they call secret contracts. These are built on their own version of a token called a SNP. I can't remember exactly what the number is, but it's a SNP. And this allows you to guard the privacy of the data that goes in, guard the privacy of the data that comes out, and guard the privacy of the state of the smart contract in the middle. So you have secure private input, secure private output, and secure private state within. And that is quite a big deal, actually, because it's fundamentally pretty difficult to do that. And if you look at the way all these hacks have been happening this year, it's fundamentally because everything is transparent, everything's out in the open. And of course, when a hack happens, an eagle-eyed researcher like Igor can find exactly what has happened and track it. You run into issues then because, of course, everything gets then funneled through Tornado Cash and disappears. So as much as it's wonderful to want privacy and as it's wonderful to have that as an idea, there is a reason why the transparency is a good thing. So we are in the middle of this dilemma and this conflict at the moment over privacy versus transparency and whether the two can coexist.
We all know the feeling of paying high fees and waiting for transactions to confirm when interacting with DeFi. I suffer from that every time I do a tutorial or a first look. Well, no more. Solana has built a fast, censorship-resistant blockchain where you can build and use crypto apps that scale today. The network supports thousands of transactions per second with fees less than a cent and over 500 validators. To learn more, head over to solana.com/Defiant to get started building and join its rapidly expanding community.
Now, SecretSwap itself is an AMM that is built on the Secret Network. The Secret Network itself is a layer 1, like Solana. Except this one is built using Cosmos and Tendermint. And it's too much to go into how Cosmos works at the moment, but fundamentally as a blockchain, it's designed to allow many different people to run their own versions of that chain and then interoperate. But anyway, that's basically how the secret network is designed and built. So in order to use SecretSwap, you need to move your assets onto the secret network. But once you're there, you can swap them completely privately and no one will know what you have done. They won't be able to see it. Now, we covered this in an article by Eugenio just a couple of days ago, looking at Ethereum's value extracting bots. We covered MEV on the channel a little while back as well. We were looking at flash bots primarily in the dark forest, but later on, SecretSwap is mentioned as a way to mitigate MEV. In fact, to just deny it completely. Because if a transaction is secret, bots won't know which is the most valuable transaction in the mempool, so they won't know how to reorder the transactions to be the most favorable. So a lot of the bots' kind of intelligence is taken away, which is a really good thing, I think. There are reasons why it might not be. But that is effectively what SecretSwap is. So if we run through the blog post announcing version 2, they've got over $100 million in Ethereum assets already at work in secret DeFi. Secret DeFi. Doesn't secret sound just a little bit dodgy? Like I liked Enigma. Enigma sounded legit. It had shades of the Bletchley Park thing going on, you know, the Enigma machine. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Fundamentally, though, the branding on Secret Network doesn't really matter at the end of the day because in a few years' time, all of these things will be abstracted underneath other much more exciting, sexy-looking UXs. So the consumer-facing front end's not that important, really, at this stage. You now have a dedicated page for LPs to earn, so you can stake your liquidity tokens. There's some Cefi staking as well. Cefi is the governance token of SecretSwap. And there's a bridge. Yes. So the bridge at the moment is allowing you to bridge from Ethereum to the secret network. Then they're looking at a Binance Smart Chain bridge, a Monero bridge, and a Polygon bridge. So, you know, if you should be familiar with what bridges are by now, but what we're starting to see is that all these different networks will be able to talk to each other. But of course, as we know, bridging from Ethereum to anything else is a pain in the butt because it's so slow. And I was trying to bridge some USDC onto the secret network today, and I just gave up because the transaction was stuck for so long. The market is bearish. Everyone's moving their ETH around and trying to sell or get out of the market. So that's to be expected. It doesn't mean that secret network doesn't work. It's just I couldn't get to where I wanted to be with it today. So let's dig in and actually have a look at SecretSwap itself. So this is the app, and they have redesigned the front end to make it, I don't know, look a little nicer. I think primarily though, from the last time I used SecretSwap, this version is a lot faster. And in order to use it, you need to install the Kepler browser plugin, which is effectively a Cosmos Google extension that allow you to interact with the secret network the way you would using MetaMask with Ethereum network. We also have on here a pool tab and an earn tab. So these are all the new things. And then down the bottom here, you'll see bridge your ETH assets to the secret network. And that doesn't seem to be working today. Okay. It was working this morning on a different computer. Let's see if we can make that work. There we go. So this is the secret bridge. And we have to connect a Kepler wallet on this side and a MetaMask wallet, but there's a fair number of assets that you can link across. I mean, it's not an exhaustive list by any stretch, but there are some, the ones you would expect there. Interesting to see DPI there. And KNC, Maker, Link, Ocean, interesting. Uni, Comp, DAI, USDT, ETH. So, if you wanted to move stable coins like USDC, USDT across, you can. And that's it, basically. I haven't done the swap today or the across the bridge today because it's just taking too long. But once you are over on the secret network and you have tokens in your Kepler wallet, you will be able to swap them here. You will be able to pool and you will be able to earn. So there's 200% APY on Cefi staking at the moment with a total value locked of $10.5 million. Doesn't sound like a lot, does it? And as we covered yesterday in the LP simulator, sometimes those lower TVLs, just something to be aware of. Something else that we can look at with the secret networks, we can look at the Blockchain Explorer and just see kind of how much is going through the network at the moment. Not a huge amount is the answer. I think there is, on Llama Finance, there is let me just check. I think there might be a dashboard for secret network. Let's see if we can find that. And that'll give us a better idea of how much volume is going through there. Let's see if I can remember this right. There we go. DeFi Llama. So DeFi Llama is a dashboard for checking in on DeFi, DEXs, assets, lending, these kind of things. And they've got a panel for the secret network. And there we go. Total value locked on the secret network, 94,945,000. So not a great deal. Not a great deal at the moment. But I think that's partly due to the fact that secrecy or privacy, these kind of things are it's a little bit understood. If you would like to understand a bit more about it, we did do a podcast with Tor Bear, who is the founder of the Secret Foundation, and they have a particular focus on the secret network. And that can be found, I believe, on Anchor. Yeah, so I'll leave a link to that in the description below, so you can also find that. I'll give you a bit more of an idea into what's going on here. So the other thing I wanted to look at today was just the nature of the secrecy itself. So I've got an Ethereum transaction here, which is a contract interaction with the Polygon bridge. And if we look here, see if I can make that a little bigger. The information you get in the to line here, it tells you the contract that's been interacted with. It tells you what that is exactly, and it tells you exactly how much was transferred from one side to another side. So it gives you pretty much all the information that you want. Now let's take a look at, for instance, a secret network transaction. So this is Secret Nodes, which is one of the block explorers that I found. And just interestingly, if we look at the number of nodes on this network, because we looked at the nodes in the Solana episode. So we have 49 active nodes here. Total nodes are 115. There's not a huge number of nodes. So how decentralized do we think this is? I have to say, for a project that raised its money 4 years ago and raised $45 million, I would have thought they would have been further on than this. But hey, this is where we're at. And it's a niche subject within a niche market. But anyway, let's have a look at the transactions. Actually, I'm going to go back to, okay. So let's have a look. Okay, here's one. So if we look at this one, this is a sort of typical transaction. It says secret, so that's one address, executed a contract at secret is, and that's it. That's what you get. So we can click on that contract and see basically that. So there's a huge amount of data that you would expect to see in an Ethereum transaction that's just not there. And that is the power of the secret network. Now, this may not be for you. You may not need it. But one of the benefits of being on their own layer one is that swaps will be cheap as well and fast. Now, privacy is a hot topic. I also want to point you to another project called Findora, which is building more auditable privacy. So sometimes you don't want everything to be private. So let's say you're a hedge fund and you have a position in the market. you want the market to know that you have the assets that you say you have, because that gives investors confidence, but you don't want the market to know the composition of those assets. So there's a certain level of data that you are willing to give up in order to give confidence to the people that are invested in your protocol. But you don't want to give away your position. So that's where something like Findora would come along, and it would allow you to, as they say, provide confidentiality while retaining the transparency of other blockchains. So that's where you can start to see where degrees of privacy can come into their own. And it's the same for something like hospital records, for instance. You don't necessarily want an insurance provider to know every single detail about you, but there are certain things that you're willing to give up. This auditable privacy and degrees of privacy could be a hot topic. Who knows? But how many times this week have you seen an ad, a pop-up on a web page saying, "Would you like to go further? We have to do data compliance, all these kind of things." And you just click through anyway. Do we really care that much about privacy? Should we really care that much about privacy? It is a big topic. So that is SecretSwap. I'm not loving the yellow, I'll be honest, but I understand why they rebranded. They probably wanted to jump away from the Enigma thing, and Secret does tell you what this is. Secret contracts sound naughty and spicy, but fundamentally, yeah, it's live, version 2. I think it's worth having a little go and seeing whether it's for you. Definitely cheaper, but I would be wary of just how much TVL there is at the moment. But that 200% staking for Cephii might be a nice flip. I don't know. So that was today's first look. It's a big topic, and I think it's great to see at least projects trying to incorporate privacy into what they're doing. Whether it'll take off, I don't know. But if you have any suggestions for what we should pick apart in our first looks, do let me know in the comments below. I will see you on the next one. Peace!